Hey guys, I finally made it to Paris. Nah, I'm just messing with you. I'm not in Paris. I'm at home. But look, I can act like I'm in Paris with this cool gift I got. I got a gnome for Christmas a while back. Anyway, it came with a book, and I thought I'd read a little bit to you. It is the Garden Gnomes book, illustration, history. Woo! And let's start out fairly. Sorry. It came with a few of these posters. I don't particularly know why I got a gnome book, but okay. So these people take this book seriously. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. Basically, they talk about how gnomes have been found in a bunch of different societies, how Santa allegedly is a gnome, and where the term gnome comes from. And they mentioned, and I'm going to zoom in for you on this because I know some people check this out who are anime fans. They mentioned homunculus and alchemists, or an alchemy in general. So this guy wrote a book in the 1515s. I'm not even going to try to say his name. It's right there next to 1515, Parculus, that dealt with nymphs and numerous other characters. Here it is, the Book of Nymphs, salamanders, and other spirits. So yeah, you got the idea. So suggested for gnomes and other spiritual descendants, yada yada yada. I'm from New York. Okay, so you can look at the gnome over here while I read so that it's not boring. Okay, or you don't get to. I guess you don't get to. Okay, so let's get started. There's an alchemist ritual similar to the one he had perfected to create a little humanoid. He called a homunculus. The process involved a convoluted mixing of various chemicals in which he placed various herbs, silver and gold, salt, ticturus. Here, I'm going to let you read. We are here. Ticturus. Essence, bone shavings, skin fragments, blood, phlegm, and human semen in a sea-lead void. Seled? Anyway, the veil was then buried in a vat of horse manure and left for 40 days to indicate and magnetize. So basically the guy left it in there for 40 days, and what happened after 40 days, it would produce a little man who remained transparent until he had been nourished on human blood for 40 days. I'm not making this shit up. Human blood for 40 days. You can read it. At which point he became a fully formed little person. Okay, so I don't agree with you guys doing this. Okay, I want to lay that out there. Later, he basically said that he was able to do this and that he could produce nymphs and various other spirits, and that it would have been well known by the gnomes and other creatures. And it was only in the 18th century with the Enlightenment that they ended up stopping their belief in gnomes. Okay, so there's a lot of organizations that deal with gnomes. We'll skip to the part that I know because I don't know. Oh, that was so bad. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I don't know what else is in this book. So let's get down to it. Okay, so if you're like me, you wandered in the woods every once in a while. Alone. No, not really. Probably not alone, but you've been in the woods, and occasionally you see people who have brought gnomes into the woods for whatever reason, because they're kind of creepy like that. So basically they do that for fun, and let's see if I can't find the page. There's a page basically with these gnome. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so Okay, these gnome organizations liberate them. There's the force of liberation. I did not know these things existed. Basically, their idea is basically to set free gnomes. If you're into that, that's great, but if you're not, well, this is going to sound weird. So the Gnome Liberation Front is the English one. There's an Italian front and a Swedish front, all having, their same names. They're right here. I'm not making it up. Anyway. Basically, they started around the early 90s. Their overall goal is liberation. The most successful and largest one of all, though, is, of course, the Front de Liberation des Non-Indigènes, or FLNJ, located in France. They're bloody. Let's see. They take on personas from the PLO and IRA. Basically, that's kind of what they're trying to mimic. Anyway, so here's a list of their actions. So the first action they took was in Normandy, France. More than 200 gnomes are found in the forest outside the town of Alençon, and statues have been repainted, wear spectacles to see in the dark, and are decorated with pasta so that they don't go hungry, according to FLNJ spokespersons. Okay, so 3 men are arrested and convicted for possessing 184 stolen gnomes and are given prison sentence of 1 to 2 months in 1997. And 11 gnomes. Wait, where are we? Yes, 11 gnomes dangle from a bridge by their necks. A suicide note is pinned to one of them. It reads, "When you read these few words, we will no longer be a part of your selfish world, which has been our unhappy task to decorate." That's so tragic. Okay, so in Paris, France, 20 statues go missing from the gnome exhibit. Yeah, this obelisk exhibition must be closed immediately, or we will strike again. Wow. So as you can see, a lot of them are in France. Region 9 days, 7 4 gnomes are arranged in Cathedral of St. Die. Okay, so gnomes show up in the Cathedral of St. Die. 40 of them on the steps. Literally, they state that the missing was to de-ridiculize the figures. Ridiculous. In the same province, a bunch of gnomes are arranged in traffic roundabouts, spelling the words "free the gnomes." But police treat this action seriously. Let's see. Okay, we're almost done. Let's see. One can imagine. Okay, so let's go to the manifesto. So it turns out that a lot of these people have manifestos or little notes they leave behind. And the Gnome Liberation organizations usually leave a leaflet banner and basically listing further demands. One sample from the Liberation Manifesto reads, "How long, fellow gnomes, how long have we listened to smooth whispers of man species as they pick among our friends at the local garden center, praising one and rejecting the other. The true mission of the organization group, like the FLNJ, demanding the liberation of garden gnomes from basically go into 2 major ideas. 1, to return the gnomes to their natural habitat, i.e. the forest, to rid the urban environment of tacky gnomes, ancient mystic animals or creatures. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to read today. Once again, this is Sean and his gnome friend. We all have to make you a voice and put you outside. Oh, also, evidently, you're supposed to feed your gnomes in this book, according to this book. Like, at least once, or else they get all mischievous. It's such a weird book. It is probably one of the most weird books I own. But it comes with such pretty pictures, you can't be mad at it. I mean, look, I don't even know where that is, but that's beautiful. What's nice about it is you can flip them, and then you get a little house. Yeah. I think you just... I like the Paris one, too. And then they've got another little house. So it looks like, you know, you could live in multiple houses. You could be like, hey, I live here. Oh, wait, no, I live here, too. See, I'm rich. But I'm so rich I can buy giant gnomes that move around from house to house. Anyway, so you get the concept. I think I recommend getting this book if you can find it, which is amazing somebody found this. It is, I'm not, to be honest, gnomes always kind of, you know, I don't understand why people are really into them, but I think it's funny that they are so into them. The book's fascinating because it's weird that people would put so much time and effort into writing a book about gnomes. You know what I mean? Or maybe the gnomes wrote it. Brah.